All right, we have some more questions that came in from this. So this one says, my boyfriend is really getting upset because I set my boundaries and I'm not caving in. He even tried crying and I feel so alone that no one loves me and he's trying to manipulate me, but 5 minutes later, it's completely fine. How do I deal with this type of manipulation? These are some great questions. This stuff, it actually excites me because once you've been through it enough times, it's just like anything in life. You see a pattern, you know it's going to work out. But when we're brand new to it, whether it's learning how to, we refer to it as emotional jujitsu. It's literally learning how to work with your emotions, work with the other person's emotions to try to go ahead and maneuver in a safe way so nobody gets hurt, but how to overcome the other person if they're just projecting stuff on me. I hope that makes sense. Maybe a little out there, but it's one that we love here. So manipulation, that's a huge deal because when the individual is active in the addiction, it is so difficult to decipher what is manipulation, what is truth. And so we look at the facts, what's the data. There's a great saying in AA, we judge ourselves off our intentions, others judge us by our actions. And so what we look at when we're getting information is we'll say, does the behavior align with the intention and with what the person said? Now if they're aligned, if I said I'm going to do something and the data comes in, I did do this, now we're in alignment, now the data supports what the person said. So we don't go off of what individuals say, we look at that data, look at the behavior. But this is very difficult. I remember one of the first times, gosh, probably 12 or 13 years ago, when I was actually, they called me in to help set the boundary with this individual. The family had cut everything up. Everyone was cutting the individual off, and she was in a scary place. And so she started crying, doing the manipulation thing, and she knew how to manipulate me and knew the trigger words and the stuff in my family. And as she started poking and finding the different things, I'll tell you, I was really close to actually letting go of those boundaries and saying, well, we'll give another shot. However, we had other people in the room, fortunately, and as we sat there, I still held that boundary, but I connected and empathized. The biggest thing is not to just cut off the emotion and say, well, you screwed up. It's to truly hear them and understand them while still holding that boundary. And that typically is really difficult for a lot of people, is to sit there and to say, I hear you, I care about you, I want to help. Even though I do understand this, I'm not able to do what you're asking. And it was interesting because as the tears came on, I remember thinking I felt so bad. And once I held that boundary and she saw there was no negotiation there, it was incredible. She turned it off. I mean, it was like this. Literally, tears stopped, looked at me, and then screamed, F you, and stormed off. And at first I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can see how alive, how real the manipulation is. And so I share that story with you to see that that's part of the process. And so by being present, by staying connected with the individual, that's the most difficult part, and staying there because the manipulation will try. And so this is actually par for the course. I know it sounds really difficult, but understanding that it'll be up, down, up, down. When an individual is in pain, I hate this comparison, but it paints a clear picture. Have you ever seen a wounded dog in a corner? Even though you're trying to help it, they will bite, scream, bark, not scream. If a dog screams, that gets kind of crazy. Bark, growl, it will do whatever it thinks at because it's in a corner and it is going, it's not thinking rationally. Same thing with us, we are animals as well. When we're using the prefrontal cortex part of the brain, that's when we are rational, when we are able to go through logically. But when it comes to drugs, when it comes to when we're feeling like it's all or nothing, that's the reptilian part of the brain, that's fight or flight. And so if you can, picture this person sick, in a wheelchair, whatever it takes, because mentally I know it may not look like it, the person might look completely fine, but as we paint this picture in our head, it helps empathize and not take it personally that this person is mad at me, but more of this person is in survival mode and willing to do whatever they can to fight or flight. So that's a key that really helps too with the manipulation. And also, this has kind of been a theme going on, but another key aspect is to have that support system. Have the Al-Anon, have the sponsor, have other people in your life that you're able to call and just break down to and say, here's what I'm feeling, so they can just help you through. Because sometimes even just just talking about it openly, sharing it with others, it helps this grieving process, helps the frustration, helps the confusion. They've done studies. I can't quote the study, so don't hold me accountable to it, but I remember reading they say something about the process of doing it with other people openly and sharing, it cuts the process in half as opposed to internalizing it and trying to do it alone. So I'm hopeful that we were able to hit on some of that of I feel so alone, how do I deal with the manipulation? We do that by reaching out to other people that I'm close to that are safe. That's a big one, that are safe. Sponsors, mentors, church is great, even in the program. That's how we're able to. So hopefully that answered that question. If not, let me know. I'll go back to the drawing board and we'll shoot another one to see if we can't make sure that we answer that question, because these are great questions. Multiple people ask this all the time, and so we want to make sure that you guys have the answers.